when you are buying property and paying in installments. Welcome to this live session. This is a question I get asked often, and this is why I'm hosting this live session, so that I can talk about what are the things you should do, the steps you should take when you want to buy properties and you are paying in installments. I am Tosin Omotoso, Niger property lawyer, and I'm hosting this live session from Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome. Let me know where you are joining this live session from. And for those who are watching the replay, type in #replay when you are watching. Awesome. So let me know where you're joining this live session from, and we'll get started right away because time is very precious. So Tosin, I'm buying property. I'm buying a house. The house is 60 million, and I'll be paying the 60 million. I'm doing a deposit of 50% of that price. That's 30 million, and then spreading the balance of 30 million over 3 months. So what are the things I should look out for? It's nice to have you here, Nana from Abuja. All right, so this is like a typical scenario that happens when you're buying real estate, when you're buying properties and you're paying in installments, and also applies to when you're buying land. So it could be land, it could be a house. So property is anything that is land or that is fixed to the land. So a house that's been built on the land cannot be removed from it. So it's real estate, and that's why we call it real estate. It's real, it's physical, it's fixed. You can't carry it. I buy a phone, for instance, I am going to carry the phone with me, or they will deliver it to me in my office or in my house, but it's not the same with real estate. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing, definitely, when you want to buy property, I would be starting right from the very first thing you should do for everyone to be able to understand this. And one thing before I start, if you're watching this replay, you know someone who should join. If you're watching this live session or you're watching the replay and you know someone who needs to learn what we are learning here, don't be selfish. Go ahead and share with them. There's a share button down below. Just click it and share with them so that they can also come and they can learn. All right, so what's the very first step that you would take when you want to buy a property? It's to physically inspect it. Physically inspect the property. You have to see what you want to buy. And because it's real estate, it's not like I want to buy a clothes, for instance. You send me pictures, or I go to the store, I touch it, and that's it. Because it's real estate, when you buy property, you're not just buying that particular property. There are a whole lot of factors that are involved. When you buy a house or a land, you're buying the neighborhood. How does the drainage in that place looks like? Is there water good? What kind of the caliber of people who live there? You understand the kind of people you'll be living with. That is, if you want to live there or if you're using it for investment. All right, so these are the reasons why you need to go and physically inspect it so you can see exactly what you want to buy. And of course, I know that when you want to buy something, you should have a purpose for it, right? So you can see that it fits the purpose for which you want to buy it. It's very important to do that. All right, so a physical inspection cannot be dispensed with. And for people who are outside the country, or who for one reason or the other cannot go ahead and physically inspect the property, what they can do is to get a trusted person to do that on their behalf. And I know that in this time and age, technology has made a lot of things easy. So we have virtual inspection. So you can do a virtual inspection, a video inspection, where someone will go there, do a video, show you the property, the different angles, what it looks like, the road leading to the place. You understand my point? So that at least, even if you're not there physically, you have a very good idea of what you want to buy, what it looks like. So that's why I always advise that you should go ahead and do a physical inspection. That's number one. Now, after you have done the physical inspection, what you should do next is to ask for the offer letter. So when you ask for the offer letter, it will contain the terms of the property you want to buy. Typically, you're buying a house. The offer letter writes the address of the house, the name of the owner, the terms. It's not going to be so detailed, but they will write it there. We're offering this 5-bedroom with detached duplex with boys' quarters at Lekki Phase 1 for the price of so and so. They will write it there. and then they will go ahead, because you're doing it in installment, they will include the installment, how it's going to be done, what amount is going to be paid up front as a deposit. Definitely you have to do a deposit, and then what time range you're going to finish the payment and the amount of payment. All right, so those are the things that offer letter would involve. It would also include the details you need for due diligence, because you need to confirm the ownership of the property, that the owner actually has legal right to the property, there are no legal issues with the property. The details of the building permits too should be included. All right, so it's very important. After you've been given that offer letter that has a lot of details, that these details that I just mentioned, you can then go ahead and engage your lawyer, who would do the due diligence, number one, and number two, draft a contract of sale. So in that contract of sale, you will be negotiating terms, the terms of that purchase. Now, ideally, if it's not an installment arrangement, if you're just buying, it will just read, this is how much you're paying, pretty much, and every other detail. But because you're buying and paying over a period of time, you have to pay attention to the duration. And I have to say that everything has to be clearly written in that contract of sale. What's the amount you are paying now as a deposit? How are you going to be paying the balance? Over what period of time? How much? And what time? In fact, sometimes we even include the account number you'll be paying to, although that's not very important, that's not necessary. But the most important thing is you're paying to the owner. Okay, the owner will give you an account that you'll be paying into. Would you be given possession of the property at the first installment, or the second, or the third, or is it until you finish payment you'll be given the keys? These are the terms you have to negotiate. Okay, what happens if you default? Maybe you've agreed to pay over a period of 3 months. You pay the first one, the second one, and something happens that you're a little bit late with the third one. What would happen? These are the things that are very important that you have to discuss. And for me, it's usually this drafting the contract is usually a back and forth thing, because I am drafting for the buyer. The seller too has their lawyer. I am protecting the interest of the buyer. The seller too wants to protect the interest of the seller. So we usually have a back and forth exchange of the contract of sale, of the terms, where we negotiate and negotiate until we then reach something that is amicable, that works for both parties, for both you who is buying and for the seller. For instance, I had an instance where the seller said he couldn't give possession. He wouldn't allow the buyer to enter the house and start, when you enter any house, you want to start fixing things into the house until payment was made. That he could access the house, he could have the keys and enter, but he couldn't start doing anything permanent to the house, because according to what the developer said, and which totally made sense when he explained, he said he's had people who will pay, and when it's time for the last installment, maybe they just travel they just travel out of the country. And because they have done some things to the house is not here, is no longer like a new house again. So when he wants to sell it, the value has gone down a little bit, and it then affects his own finances, because he's already planned that, okay, that one is off the market. When you have 12 units and someone has bought already, and you feel, oh, this unit is off the market, but the person comes back to say, we're not buying again, so you now have to start sourcing for someone else who would buy. And because the building has been altered, it's difficult to market it as a new building. Although maybe it's new, but they fixed different things. Maybe they've made holes in the walls, so they wanted to fix the ACs and everything. All right, so, and it totally made sense. So, and then we had this back and forth before we then finalized on the contract of sale. So at the point of you starting that transaction, the document that you would have would be a contract of sale, because they're not yet transferring ownership to you, because you've not finished payment. It is when you finish making payment that you would then have a deed of assignment drafted by a lawyer, and the deed of assignment is what transfers ownership to you. So the deed of assignment is what you get when the transaction has been completed, when you have finished paying. If you have not finished paying, you're not going to get a deed of assignment. All right, so it's important you engage a lawyer to do the due diligence, and we usually work also with a surveyor to confirm the location of the property, especially when it's land. Okay, so if you're buying land, you're buying house, and you're paying installments, it's very important. Another thing is you have to be sure of all the fees you'll be paying. So I know you would usually pay connection fees to connect your house to the grid if it's a house. If it is land, you pay maybe development charges, okay? But it's important that you state you know this up front. And oftentimes that is why we usually insist on that offer letter, especially for a house, so that everything is stated in there. So connection fee, maybe to connect you to the electricity in the area, or your water, or any other fees apart from the cost of the building. And by the way, and when you're buying real estate, I have to add that you've got to properly budget for your real estate. So real estate isn't exactly cheap. So, and it's not just the cost of the property, there are other costs that are involved. So there's a video on my YouTube channel where I talk about all the fees you pay when you are buying real estate. So if you comment YouTube on any of my previous posts, or you go to my link in bio, you would be able to get access to my YouTube channel and watch that video. And I think everyone who is buying property should watch it. So I can see a few questions, but this is how we are going to go about it. I will finish with what I'm talking about, and then we can have questions. So that way, the live session goes on seamless and I don't lose my train of thought. Because if I'm already saying something and then I have to come back to answer a question, I would have forgotten what I was talking about earlier. All right? So please just hold on with your questions. If you have questions, you can, there's a button down below your screen that has question mark, a question mark inside the circle. Type it, tap it, and type your questions, so that when we are done, we will then take every one of those questions. And for those who are watching the replay, type in your questions in the comment section too. All right, so the charges, yes, you have to be sure of the charges. You have to be sure of when you'll be taking possession, like I just talked about, especially in regards to when it's a house. Even when it's a land too, you have to ensure that you know when possession will be given to you. All right. So when you finish payments, maybe after it's 3 months, and a 3 months period when you are buying, when you're paying for the house, when you then finish payment, what we then do is to draft a deed of assignment. That is the document that effectively transfers ownership to you. And I am so proud of everyone following my page, because last week I put up a quiz on my page saying what documents transfers ownership to you. And I had 2 options there: contract of sale, deed of assignment, and everyone got it right. Like, everyone got it right. I am so proud of everyone who participated in that quiz. So it's a deed of assignment that effectively transfers ownership to you. You see, real estate is not like any other thing. Okay, so these my glasses. When I bought it, I ordered it online and they brought it to my house, and that was it. It's no big deal. Okay, maybe they gave me a receipt. Okay, when I paid for it, they said payment receipt, so you get a receipt. A receipt or a contract of sale does not make you the owner of the property. There are laws that guide how real estate is transacted, and it is effectively by a deed, usually a deed of assignment. So we have some other types of deeds that can give you ownership of a property, but effectively it has to be by a deed, and the wordings of the deed must particularly transfer ownership to you, much more than the designation or deed of assignment. The wordings inside that contract must be properly drafted to transfer to you, because you can sign something that you think that the ownership has been transferred to you, but it was not transferred. So that's the forte of lawyers. All right, so it's very important you then get the property, you get the deed of assignment, you are given full possession, and you move into the property, or if you want to use it for investment purposes, maybe Airbnb, shortlet, and whatnot, but you're given the keys, all right, and the property is yours. If it is land also, you take possession of the property. So basically that is what to do when you are buying property and you are paying in installments. All right, so if you're buying property and you would want us to offer these services to you, the due diligence, documenting, or you need legal advice on that, you can always send a DM and then we can talk about it. So I can see questions here already. So can you help with getting a C of O for a land that doesn't have it but only has a deed of assignment and a survey? So where is your location? So Sarah Southing, I'll need to know your location so we can help you with getting a C of O if the land is in Lagos State. So you can send a DM and we'll send you a form to fill, giving us the details of that property. But it has to be in Lagos State for now. I can see another question. Susan Eweje, which location are you? Our location is in Lagos. We are in Lagos. All right, Sarah. Okay, you are in Abuja. Okay, you can still send us a DM. You can still send a DM. The land is in Lagos. Okay. Send a DM and we'll send you a form to fill with all the details that we need, and then we'll let you know what that would entail. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up? Any other questions? So if you're just joining, I'll leave the replay. Make sure to watch it. All right. Thank you so much. And for those who are watching the replay, type in your questions in the comment section and I'll answer them. But if you need more clarifications, you want specific legal advice, you can send a DM to book a paid legal consultation session. Please note that I do not consult for free. So I have people come into my DM, and when they send a message and say they want legal advice, and my virtual assistant tells them that it's paid, they get offended. I don't know why. I don't understand. It's not possible for me to do that for free, definitely. So, but I have a lot of free helpful content like this live session. On my page, I have a lot of videos. I have a new webinar, by the way, that I recorded, and I think everyone should go and watch it. Everyone should go and watch it. So that's one resource that everyone needs. I talked about red flags to avoid when you're buying real estate, and the step-by-step guide to buying scam-free real estate. So everyone should do that. I also have my YouTube channel, free content, very helpful. I have my paid due diligence masterclass, and those in that masterclass are my first constituency, apart from my clients, because I go there every day to check if they have questions for me, and I take my time to answer. So the masterclass is a step-by-step guide to investing in real estate, different forms of real estate. Buying from family, buying from community, buying land, buying a built house, buying under a mortgage, off plan, what C of O, excision gazette. Like, it's a detailed masterclass that I put together for those who usually ask, I want to go into real estate, but I really don't know how to. So it works for you, whether you are an investor for yourself, or you are a realtor, you want to acquire land for doing the property real estate business. It also works for you. I've had lawyers, developers, realtors, a lot of people join the masterclass, over 120 people. So you can also get access to the masterclass. So those are the resources that I have for you that would help you on your real estate journey. All right. So we're calling it a day now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.